you're not drunk, isn't at home, please leave a message at the beep. I must be out, or I'd pick up the phone. Where could I be? I'm not home.
George, are you there?
Hello!
I know you're avoiding me.
And welcome to the Week 7 recap. Hold on. Those are a couple of my roommates, or not roommates, my co-workers. I'm doing a recap for my fantasy football league. So have a good one. So, welcome to the Week 7 recap. This is the GM of Vandelay Industries, Julian Spindell, as well as your co-commissioner and former T-Jack recipient, and most recently, Fire Flames League champion. So, let's get right into it here, and we're going to go into the Week 7 matchups. Alright. Sun chips are good. So, first matchup of the week, let's talk about Niall and Eli's matchup. So, Niall ended up winning 90.6 to 75.7. Eli didn't put up much of an effort. Great performance from Brady, as always. That's what you can expect. Niall lost Arian Foster in this matchup, which is a huge blow, but he was able to win 90.6 to 75.7. Our next matchup here, we have Henry taking on the weekly unfortunate Andrew Muck. So Henry won 90.9 to 83.6. Carson Palmer kind of made it close. There's a chance at overtime in that game had Joe Flacco thrown a touchdown instead of an interception, then gone for two. Jacob left some points on the bench here. T.J. Yeldon, Jordan Reed, and unexpectedly, Darren McFadden had a lot of points that could have helped Jacob win this week. So that's unfortunate. Jacob moves to 1-6. Henry moves on to 7-0, which is, I believe, a Fire Flames record. We have never had anyone start that hot. So congratulations to Henry. Next matchup here, Chris took on Kelly, Flaming Unicorns against Nuwanda Rising. Chris put up a good score, but Kelly has a machine of a team. Danny Woodhead went for 2 scores. Gurley's a monster, and she put up 119. So Chris was basically down to Chandler Catanzaro kicking 27 points worth of field goals on Monday night, and that did not happen. Next we have Coy, picking up his first win of the week. Congratulations to him. He did it against a team that no one thought he could beat. He beat Randy's team. So both those teams moved to 1-6. Coy winning that one, 99.4 to 65.1. Next up here, we have the West St. Paul Anchor Babies, my dark horse to win it all, taking on the Knights of Yeldon, who have suffered a couple of injuries. Only Carrasco could have this kind of luck. He lost Jamal Charles. Looks like Joseph Randall is going to be out for a couple weeks here. It might be just supplanted by Darren McFadden, who looks a lot better. But anyway, my dad, he started Iron Joe Flacco, and even though Joe threw the pick that lost the game, it ended up ending that game at least for my dad, and he was able to win 100.8 to 94.2. Finally here, we have Vandelay Industries, my team, taking on Team Max. And Max gave me quite a scare going into Monday night. I felt pretty good about it the whole time, prior to that. But what he needed to happen was Chris Johnson needed to outscore Larry Fitzgerald by 18 points. It sounds preposterous, I know, but Max came very close. There was one play in particular where Chris Johnson was thought to be down after being tackled. He wasn't, and what happened was he got up, ran for about 62 yards, got down to the 7-yard line before getting tackled. Had he gone for a score there, Max would have gotten a win. So it's unfortunate for Max, but I was able to survive that. Max moves to 4-3, and I move on to 6-1. All right, great. So let's go on to my favorite segment here, the Shame of the Week. All right. And actually, I haven't even picked the shame of the week. I'll just think about it while I'm playing the music.
Damn, son, where'd you find this? Damn, son, where'd you find this?
They are who we thought they were.
All right.
And we let them off the hook.
China.
They're better than we are. We're not good enough.
It's embarrassing. I represent that.
All right. This week's shame of the week. Beating a dead horse here. I'm sorry, but it absolutely goes to Randy. Randy, you started Antonio Gates, and Antonio Gates was ruled out of the contest. Nothing tricky here this week about the shame of the week. You started a player that was injured. Antonio Gates looked good. I don't blame you for wanting to start him, but he just didn't play. So that's going to net you the shame of the week. We're going back to Randy with it. So all right, cool. So we're halfway through the season right now, and we're actually more than halfway through the season. We're starting to get a pretty good playoff picture here. I'm going to run through the standings real quick. So we have Henry undefeated at 7-0, something that's never happened in Fire Flames history, to my knowledge. I'm right behind at 6-1, and we're actually separated by a single point for Henry has the advantage there. Next is Kelly's team at 5-2. Kelly looks very impressive, and Niall is tied with Kelly at 5-2. We have two people at 4-3. We have Nwanda Rising, and then Team Max. Two people at 3-4. The Knights of Yeldon, and then the West St. Paul Anchor Babies. We have Team Eli, who somehow managed to get 2 wins. I'll credit CJ Spiller for that. And then we have I don't want to call it a log jam, but I mean, we have 3 people at 1-6. So this is actually, based on what I've seen in the past. Oh, sorry, I meant to get the music back on.
Lifelong shit, cunning little brain.
It's Les Mis. So, from what I've seen in the past, at this point in the season, we've had, it's typical that Fire Flames has 5 people at 4-3, 4 people at 3-4, then maybe the rest at 5 people at 2-5 or something like that. Obviously, I didn't check to see if that math works at all. But there is there do appear to be some fairly it seems to be fairly tiered this year. So yeah, Henry's undefeated, and then we have 3 people at 1-6, 1 person at 2-5. So right now, T-Jack picture, and I call it the T-Jack picture because it's easier than discussing 8 teams about for the playoffs. T-Jack picture, we got Eli, Jacob, Coy, and Randy down there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We're halfway through the season, and just to give you guys hope, I was at this point I was 4-3 last year. Your hero was 4-3, and I did end up winning the championship. People forget that. So so there's always hope. Never give up, except if you're Eli. But yeah, so we're halfway through, and it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this shakes out. So let's move on to next week's matchups before I make this thing 40 gigabytes. So next week, I'm going to do myself last. All right, next week we have Team Max taking on the Super Mariota Brothers. Max is 4-3, Randy's 1-6. I'm not going to go through and pick all of these, but, it looks like Max is favored to win that one. We got Andrew Muck going up against Going Incognito. So, possible T-Jack preview, hopefully not. I hope, I think Jacob has a great team. I hope he makes it into the playoffs. And if he makes it into the playoffs, he's going to be he's going to be a dangerous 8 seed, a dangerous 8 or 7 seed there. So, it's an important matchup to win too, especially against another 1-6 low record team. Finally, we got the West St. Paul Anchor Babies, who are hot right now. They're red hot. Lamar Miller Coming off of a huge performance thanks to Dan Campbell, just a all around gritty guy, and they're taking on the even more red hot Flamin' Unicorns. This matchup last year, this is actually the last one of the year, and Kelly put up 190 against my dad, who had his only 100-point performance last year against that game where Kelly put up a crazy score. So my dad's going to look to build on the success that he's had with Lamar Miller. Alshon Jeffrey's coming back from the bye, and AP, he's AP, so he's almost always a threat to just put up a monster game. Next game we have Niall taking on Carrasco, the film school rivalry here. Niall's 5-2, lost Arian Foster. John lost Jamal Charles, so we got a battle of the damaged goods coming up. Niall's 5-2, John's 3-4. John's really going to want to win that game. It's going to be a signature win for his squad if he gets it. Next we have Team Eli taking on Nuwanda Rising. Just the no love lost there at all. Chris and Eli, great rivalry there. Chris is going to be facing Brady, who he traded. Eli's going to be facing Marshawn, who he traded. But I think we all know how that one's going to end up. We'll see. But finally, and I'm biased, and I don't care at all. But we have what I'm dubbing already as the matchup of the year. We have the clear first place, most points for undefeated Crumbopulous crew and Henry's team, 7-0, taking on my team, the 6-1 Vandalay Industries. I'm just 1 point behind in points for. So this is the pending that I don't win by less than a point. This is the unequivocal battle for first place. Atop the Fireflame standings, as well as the battle for truest Spindell. So that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. I encourage everyone to just pay attention to that one and see how it goes. I remember winning last year's matchup. Never forget that. And so that's what we're looking at for next week. We're more than halfway through. It's been a quick season so far. Lots of surprises. I'll get into that in my power rankings, with Andy Dalton, Devontae Freeman. But that's pretty much all I have for this week. And have a good one. I'll see you guys in the power rankings tomorrow. Good luck on the waivers tomorrow. Tons of great guys chilling on the waivers right now. I hope you guys get to them before I do. But that's it. Have a great one, and Julian out.